So if you've been keeping up on my channel over the last few months, you guys know that I have done a lot of new releases, first impressions, full reviews, all of that. Some of them can kind of get lost in translation, or some of them I just haven't gotten around to doing a full review on because it wasn't the right season, stuff like that. And whether it's the indie community, niche community, designer, there has been a lot of new releases. So I found three that I either did only a first impression or I just did an initial review, never a follow-up. And so what I figured I was going to do is a compilation review. I'm going to review all three of these fragrances today in this video and then let you know from 3 to 1 which ones are my favorite, describe them all that good stuff, and let you guys know which one I think is definitely worth a pickup. So today we're going to be reviewing Kenzo Homme Marine, Louis Cardin's Sacred, and Dossier's Woody Tobacco, which is a clone of Jazz Club. So without further ado, let's get it. What's going on, my great smelling dudes? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Randy, aka Fragrance Dude, back with another fragrance video and a kind of like a compilation full review. Whether some of these videos I didn't get to the full review because of the seasonal, or because I just didn't get around to it, or if I forgot, whatever it was. I have three fragrances that I never did a full review to give you the projection, longevity, the scent profile, all of that of the full fragrance. And those are Louis Cardin's Sacred, Kenzo Homme Marine, and then Dossier's Woody Tobacco, which is inspired by or clone of replica Jazz Club. So before we get into it, if you guys want my videos sooner, like if you want to get notifications of them, make sure to hit the bell, like, comment, subscribe, and then if you could follow me on Instagram and TikTok, all that good stuff. So what I'm going to do is a kind of like a quick review through all three of these, and then I'm going to rank them at the end, let you guys know which one is my favorite of the three. But starting out here, we're going to talk about Louis Cardin's Sacred. So there was a lot of people telling me it was Louis Cardin, Louis Cardin, Louis Cardin, Louis Cardin. So I'm just saying Louis Cardin. If that's not what it is, then it's not what it is. But Louis Cardin's Sacred, it is a brand that is out of Europe, and you can't really find them very easily in the United States. I found a brand out of the city that I live in that is a website called rollingclouds.com. And the last time I did a video, their site was under maintenance, but now it's back up. So if you guys want to pick, they have freshies. They have ones that are in the vein of Creative Ventus. They have that I'll be reviewing on my channel at some point in time. But then they have this Louis Cardin's Sacred, which was ranked #1 of all gourmands by Curly Fragrance. And so I thought it was really interesting. And so the company said they would send it to me. They have no affiliation with Louis Cardin outside of just they sell their bottles. But if you're in the United States and you want to get a quick way to get these without paying the shipping and taxes and stuff like that that you have to get from Europe, then get this from rollingclouds.com or any of their freshies. They're around $45, $50. And if you use the code DUDE10, you get 10% off. I don't get paid for it. Just wanted to let you guys know. But Louis Cardin's Sacred, it opens up and it is a beautiful, delectable caramel vanilla gourmand with a little bit of a powdery musk underneath it. It's powder and musk underneath it, not powdery musk. But mix that together with a nice bit of spice, and then as you get to the dry down, the caramel becomes more of a background nuance, almost like a creamy toffee-like undertone. As that vanilla pulls up, the vanilla is powdery, and then you also do get some powdery notes in there. And then you mix that together, and it's almost like a caramelized toffee vanilla with a little bit of a powdery musk underneath it, and then some spices sprinkled in. It literally smells like a dessert. And not only that, the bottle looks actually pretty cool too. It almost looks like a little Hershey Kiss at the top. But Louis Cardin's Sacred, it is, if I had to rank the gourmands in my collection, it is up there with the best ones that I've tried, because it is a delectable gourmand. It is literally something that you smell and you're like, yeah, I want to eat that. My wife said that this is one of her favorite fragrances, if not her favorite sweet fragrance in my collection. It definitely have a sweetness to it. As far as the performance and longevity, it is a gourmand that definitely pushes out, but it's not going to be like too in your face. It's above average, and it stays above average for the first 4 hours. Then it comes down to a personal bubble, and I get about 8 hours on this fragrance. I get a little bit more on clothes, obviously, but Louis Cardin Sacred, it's a fantastic gourmand fragrance. Again, it's almost like a caramel vanilla toffee with some powdery nuances underneath it. That's the best way to put it. That is Louis Cardin Sacred. Again, you can find that at RolandClouds.com. They're out of Pittsburgh, which I like to support the homegrown businesses, so why not? Going into the second one, this is an inspired by version of Replica by the Fireplace, or Replica Jazz Club. This is by Dossier. It is woody tobacco. This one has a magnetic cap, so even though these are only like $30 or $40, I can tell you that the caps are really nice. So, Replica Jazz Club, what is it? It's a boozy tobacco vanilla fragrance that has some woods in it. This fragrance is pretty much that. I mean, it's woody tobacco. This fragrance is really nice. It does what it's trying to set out to do. It doesn't smell exactly like Replica Jazz Club. It smells about 75% what Jazz Club is, but it does its own thing. It's more on the sweet tobacco with a nice spice, and it's more of like a tobacco leaf. It's like a leafy tobacco. It's almost like a mixture of Jazz Club and Herod. If you guys have smelled Herod by Parfums de Marly, woody tobacco actually does a really nice job on this. I would say, as far as the clones that I've smelled, it's one of the top ones that I've smelled, to be honest with you. Dossier, I honestly thought that they were a crap company before I got into them. I thought they were just one of those really cheap fragrances like Alt or whatever, but honestly, I'm starting to find out that some of these companies actually do really damn good fragrances for a really good price. So woody tobacco, it's a really nice fragrance. As far as the longevity, I got 6 hours out of it. I did get like 9 or 10 when I sprayed it on clothes, and I could smell it the next day on my hoodie. But as far as the skin, which is what we do our tests off of, I got 6 hours on that, and it's above average for the first 2, and it comes down to a personal bubble, and then a skin scent after about 4 hours. But yeah, it's a really nice fall and winter fragrance. You can wear it probably into the spring as well. It's a little bit more masculine than what you get with Jazz Club. Even though Jazz Club is more mature, this is just more spice and woods than what you get with Jazz Club. But that is Woody Tobacco by Dossier. It's really nice as well. Going into the last one. So Kenzo Homme Marine. That is what we're going to be talking about next. It's an eau de toilette. Kind of picture the eau de toilette a little bit fresher, with this like Lang Lang sunscreeny saltiness. That is exactly what this fragrance is. It doesn't last very long. It lasts about 3 hours on your skin, and that is giving a little bit. The fragrance kind of just is exactly what you would expect from a marine fragrance. Even though, you know what's funny is that I tried the Intense the other day, and I actually think that the Intense is more marine than this one. But that just might be me. But we're talking about the Kenzo Homme Marine. So when you first spray on the Kenzo Homme Marine, you definitely get this salty sea notes mixed together with a lot of woods. And then you get that Lang Lang in there that provides almost like this citrusy, almost suntan lotion vibe. That's kind of what I get from it, but that's the woody tobacco. So it has like a woodiness to it and a little bit of a powdery nuance underneath the fragrance. But it's kind of just like, again, if you've ever tried Kenzo Homme Eau de Toilette, mix that with this like a salty marine accord, and then some Lang Lang and some powder and woods underneath it, but that's pretty much what it is. It's Kenzo Homme Marine, lighter, fresher with a twist, is the best way to put what Kenzo Homme Eau de Toilette with a twist. Kenzo Homme Marine doesn't really do much for me. It's a good fragrance, kind of like all the ones in the line. They have something special to each of them. I don't own any of them because none of them really stuck out to me and said, hey, you need to buy this right now. I do have some of them on my list to purchase though, like the Intense. But with that said, Kenzo Homme Marine, It's okay. There's other fragrances in my collection that do something like that better. Like, it's kind of like Boss Bottle Pacific, just not as marine. And I like Pacific better because it has that coconut note to it. So yeah, as far as the longevity, I got about 3 hours. I don't really want to say anymore, but it's moderate, and then at about 3 hours, that moderate just fades. And it could be a skin scent for maybe another hour or so, but I mean, it's a nice summer fragrance, and if you can find it for like $30, I would definitely pick it up and try it out. It has that Lang Lang, which is a unique, like citrusy, almost floral style note. Because there is some florals in here, and sometimes Lang Lang can come off like a citrus floral, and that's kind of what it comes off in this. As you get to the dry down, it's more of just like like a marine woods. That's what the fragrance is. So as far as the rankings are concerned, I can already tell you number 3 is Kenzo Homme Marine. If you guys couldn't tell, that's my least favorite of the 3, even though it is a very wearable fragrance that I would give probably a 7 out of 10. Maybe like a 6.5 out of 10. It has some synthetics to it, but going into the second one, I actually really like this fragrance. It was really hard for me to pick between this and the top one, but I tested this against my Jazz Club, and I actually think I like this better than Jazz Club, and this is like a quarter of the price. Number 2 is Woody Tobacco by Dossier. I give that probably a 7.5 to a 7.9 out of 10. My number 1 is for sure, because you guys know I like my gourmands. This even has a bit of freshness to it, so you could wear it in like 3 seasons. Louis Cardin, Sacred. It is caramelized toffee vanilla with powder. It is fantastic. It puts some spice sprinkled on there, like some cinnamon clove or something like that. It's gourmand, delectable. It's fantastic. That's an 8, 8.5. Louis Cardin Sacred is fantastic fragrance. If you haven't tried this, pick it up. Go to rollingclouds.com. $45, I believe, maybe 50, somewhere around there. You get Frag or Dude 10, and you get 10% off of that. I think that's a steal. Seriously, if the prices go up, I would get this now before the prices go up, because the prices on a lot of even discounters are starting to go up and up and up and up and up. Also, you can support the little guy, because Rolling Clouds is out of Pittsburgh. They are a startup business a small business that sells Louis Cardin. Hopefully I get some more from them. I know they have some freshies, so I'd be interested to try those out. But yeah, that's my favorite. Woody Tobacco is really good, and you know what's actually funny is that I accidentally layered these today, just putting them on my wrist when I was smelling them, and they smell really good together. just an FYI. You could buy both of those fragrances, the Woody Tobacco and the Louis Cardin Sacred, for $65, $70, which is still less than a normal designer fragrance. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Let me know if you guys like any of these fragrances. I wanted to get a full review out for the 3, and they're really nice. But thank you guys so much. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll be back with another one. Peace out.